Now at 5, a local church known for its support of migrants is pushing back against the Trump administration's stance on immigration.
This administration is going so against the norms of this country.
Plus, local police are claiming success in stopping an illegal street takeover.
What we're seeing is folks that are taking tremendous risks.
And in Washington, brewers share their concerns as a proposed tax is set to raise their costs even further.
None of us make any money in this industry. We're just taxed to death.
Thanks so much for joining us here at 5 on this Easter Sunday. I'm John Adams. For many, the Easter holiday is about new life and making a fresh start. It's not often about politics. But some local church leaders are hoping the Trump administration will take this opportunity to make a fresh start on its immigration tactics. Our Libby Dowsett shares their strong message to the president.
Local pastors say many of their members who are immigrants are scared right now and even worried about going to public places like church where they could be targeted by immigration officials. One pastor telling us this isn't how it's supposed to be. Churches have always been a sanctuary.
The pressure right now and the fear is the greatest I've ever seen.
Pastor Mark Knutson at Augustana Lutheran Church in Northeast Portland has faced immigration battles before. In 2014, the church provided months of sanctuary for Francisco Aguirre, who fled El Salvador as a teen when his family was killed. In 2014, U.S. federal agents came after him.
They circled the church. We had to go to court. But that was very tense. And to live in a church for 81 days is not fun. You can't step outside.
If you ask me where I'm from, I'm born in El Salvador, but I believe that I'm from Oregon. I grew up here. I've been here for more than 29 years.
Even today, Aguirre knows if deported, he may never come back.
We all have the right to have a life where we don't have to fear of being killed. If I get deported, it's a death sentence for me.
I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
President Trump's supporters say tougher immigration rules are needed to make the country a safer place. The administration is calling for illegal immigrants to self-deport or risk being banned from the U.S. for life.
What is happening today in this country is so antithetical to what we as people of faith stand for and believe as one human family.
They're asking us to respect the law, but they are not putting up that example, as a representative of law enforcement.
So what would happen right now if ICE were to come?
They would not be allowed in. There's signs on the doors. We would surround this church with thousands of people within an hour. Can you imagine if that were to happen? That would go viral around the world. I don't think those agents would want to be part of that.
A local church willing to speak up in hopes the administration will back down.
If people of faith and goodwill do not stand up, who will?
Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
Well, taking a look outside now and turning to weather, the blue skies and the nice temps we saw over the last few days are gone, and we've seen overcast skies and much cooler temperatures for our Easter Sunday. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is joining us now. For Joe, for people heading home from those family gatherings this evening, what should they expect over the next few hours?
Yeah, the end of Easter Sunday and of course Passover as well is going to end a little bit with some light showers, and that's kind of what we're experiencing in downtown Portland. We'll take you to Providence Park in the Goose Hollow neighborhood of Southwest Portland, where we're seeing some light showers. Again, like I told you last night, the rainfall amounts weren't going to be adding up to much. We're seeing temperatures in the low 50s with basically just trace amounts, a little more than trace amounts of rain so far over the last couple of hours. And we'll continue to see that trend here the next few hours or so. Very light showers. They're going to be concentrated throughout parts of Battleground, Southwest Washington, and into parts of wine country. You travel out, let's say, south of the Salem area, you're going to be looking at pretty much dry conditions the rest of your Sunday night. And then out there in the Pacific, we have more spotty showers heading into tomorrow, but tomorrow's going to be more set up like today. We'll be seeing mostly cloudy skies. Some of those clouds will be thick to start off the first 3/4 of the day or so. By midday, the light showers pick up a little bit in the early part of the afternoon, but by 5 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be seeing a lot of sunshine. And here we go. Tomorrow morning, we'll be looking at those thick clouds at times, but by the end of your morning commute, you're staying dry. But again, by 12:30, 1 o'clock tomorrow, just picking up some light showers. Rainfall amounts are going to be pretty light. And I am bumping up the temperatures for the middle part of this week. Yes, there is a return of 70-degree weather. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
All right, Joe, we love to hear that. We'll see you later in the show. Well, it was a busy night for Multnomah County law enforcement, but Portland police tell us they believe they were mostly able to prevent a large illegal street takeover from happening. In all, there were 7 arrests, 9 vehicle tows, 32 traffic citations written, 6 drivers who tried to get away from police, and 4 illegally possessed firearms that were seized. Captain Burley with PPB told us today these takeovers can bring in upwards of 1,000 people. That didn't happen last night.
At one of the common gathering locations, there was a fluctuation all the way up until after midnight of about 50 to 100 people gathering there. Folks had gone down there with the belief the event was going to happen, but because of the actions of our officers throughout the night, I think that we were successful in deterring a street racing event from happening.
PPB partners for this mission included the Sheriff's Office, Vancouver Police, and Gresham Police. In Troutdale, Gresham investigators are looking into what caused a house fire last night. The fire department says the fire broke out in the upper floor of a home off of Southwest Hensley Road and Southwest 15th Street. There were 2 people inside at the time. One got out by themselves, with firefighters rescuing the other person. That individual was taken to the hospital. Their condition is unknown. The owner of a money service business was charged in federal court earlier this week. Brenda Barrera Orantes, a Guatemalan national illegally living in Beaverton, is accused of laundering millions of dollars in drug money through La Popular. The business has locations in Oregon and Washington. Court documents state Barrera Orantes wired nearly $90 million through her business, using fake information to hide her activities. Of that, nearly $19 million was sent to locations in Mexico and Honduras associated with drug trafficking groups. If convicted, she faces up to 20 years in federal prison and could be fined twice the value of the laundered money. Breweries across Washington are concerned a new bill could hurt their business. House Bill 2079 would raise the beer excise tax for breweries. Our Ashley Grams is joining us now. And Ashley, you spoke with a brewer from Vancouver earlier today.
Yeah, I did. They were open and they were serving up some Sunday beers. The owner I talked with is concerned higher taxes could force some local breweries to raise prices and others to close their doors.
On Main Street in Vancouver, Washington.
We love to see the community here hanging out in the beer porch.
Trapdoor Brewing is about to mark a decade in business.
We're going to celebrate 10 years.
As founder Brian Scholl reaches this milestone, he's stuck thinking about a new proposal from lawmakers in Olympia.
Enough. Like, this could be the last straw for a lot of breweries.
If passed, House Bill 2079 would increase the excise tax on Washington brewers.
And the response has been similar across the board from all of us in the industry.
Well, thanks for coming, you guys.
Brewers up in the Seattle area, like Salish Sea Brewing, are also concerned about the way this bill could harm their business.
Taxing us out of existence isn't going to solve the budget issue. It's going to erase the heart of the communities that make us thrive across the state.
The Washington Brewers Guild said they did the math and shared these calculations. Breweries that produce less than 60,000 barrels a year pay about $4.78 in excise tax per barrel. This House bill would raise that number to $9.51. Bigger breweries would see the per barrel tax increase from $8.08 to $16.16. Scholl says his brewery produces about 2,000 barrels a year and feels like this proposal is just another in a long list of rising costs.
At some point, we're just not going to have margins to survive the headwinds. There's going to be a lot of us that just say, okay, that's the one that does it for me.
Now, I did reach out to the 2 Democratic lawmakers that are sponsoring this bill, and I haven't heard back yet. We'll let you know when we do. This Washington state legislative session is scheduled to end in about a week. John?
All right, Ashley, thank you so much for that reporting tonight. A traffic alert now for Portland drivers. It's the Markham Bridge's turn for overnight closures as part of its biennial inspection by ODOT. Starting tonight, the bridge will be shut down between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. in the next morning. There will also be lane closures leading up to the bridge. This is expected to be finished by early Friday morning. Well, it's a local farm family tradition that the public was invited to take part in. Topz Farm in Sauvie Island hosted its third annual Easter weekend celebration yesterday and today. On top of the usual farm fun there, children got to take part in Easter egg hunts, plus other activities, including potato painting, a traditional Ukrainian egg demonstration, and a chance to say hi to the Easter Bunny. One of the owners told us that it was a sold-out event, but made sure that didn't take away from everyone's fun.
We limit the number of people come because one of the things, we're not big fans of crowds. We don't like long lines. We don't like stressful situations. We're parents and we're grandparents and we've done all the egg hunts before. We want this to be a happy experience where you can come in and do the egg hunt, or you can go get something to eat, or you could do the demonstrations without having to wait in lines.
There was also food, drinks for adults and kids, plus animal visits including chicks, ducks, lambs, and goats.